It's so hard to see the good if you're only seeing the bad. There's so many people that struggle with their version of success is because they're looking at someone else's. There's so many people that struggle with their world of relationship because they're judging theirs based off of someone else's. When you're constantly in the space of not realizing or noticing your world, your reality, because you're living in what appears to be someone else's, well, your shit is never gonna be right. It's never gonna be right. If I'm looking at everybody's relationship with their father and I'm going, I want that. Well, I'm not embracing the world of good that came from my dad. I could have went down the road that my dad did. I could have easily been wrapped into the same world of, drugs, gangs, violence, stick-up boys, right? Like the embracing the hood at the highest level. Not that I don't, because I do. That's where I'm from. I could have embraced it at a much higher level and followed in the footsteps of my father because that's what he did. But I was able to realize the mistakes he made. I was able to go, well, I don't want to go down that street because I see the consequences of it. That's a choice that I made, right? Some don't make that choice. By the way, no disrespect to those that haven't. It's to each his own. You do what you want based off of who you've seen or what you want to be true to. Live your life. Ultimately, we get one. Live it for you. Live it to the best space and place that you feel you can win at. That's my motto. I'm not here to tell you right from wrong. I'm saying I identify things differently and I make decisions based off of examples that I can look at as not bad, but ones that if I didn't have, I could have made that mistake. So without a lesson that was intentional, my dad's giving me lessons, right? It's not intentional. My dad never said, I went to jail, so you didn't have to. He never said that. Hearing how you talk about it, hearing how many times you went. Well, I don't want to go there. Seeing what drugs did to you and you talking and telling the stories, what you lost, what you had, what you don't. Well, I don't want to do that. Okay, I'm going to embrace my father. I'm going to embrace this imperfect human being because I'll be damned if he's not positioning me for personal success and just understanding what I should and shouldn't do. And it seems so logical. It seems like common sense, but sometimes it's not that easy. There's nothing more humbling than a quiet room. There's nothing more humbling than the realization of what is really necessary. What you take for granted and what we don't think twice about is not until that's compromised that the true appreciation for life, I feel like, can sometimes be had. I don't want to speak for everybody because I think there are some people that truly do get it and that truly do think whatever their space or version of a higher power is daily for life and for what they do. I believe in God. I'm not as spiritual as some may be, but I'm very thankful for the life that God has allowed me to live and the opportunities that I've been able to embark upon. But I got a lot more appreciation after life was almost gone. Do you really appreciate your toes? Do you really appreciate your fingers? Do you really think about your movement, your joints, vision, smell? Do you really think about how fortunate and lucky you are? It's the only time where I get where I slow up. When I'm slowing up, it's because the reality of that, be you unapologetically, and as you are correcting or fixing or evolving in you, understand that you got a dope thing to look back at, and that's the old you versus the new attempt in who you are trying to be. That to me is beautiful. Every piece of art that I look at, that I love, that I embrace, there's nothing better than looking at it from the start. Every house that gets built, what did it start out as? Every car that gets built, what did it start out as? Clothes that we wear, what was the design in the beginning? Everything has stages of growth. Why in today's time are we forgetting that? Why are we forgetting that and expecting an immediate space of perfection? I didn't know that babies come out the womb and know it all off the back. I thought they have to be taught. The way that we're talking today, that's tough. It's tough. So I try my best to remove myself from as much as I can. I try myself to act as a aid for laughter, happiness, joy. And I can only hope that the conversation attached to my name will be one of good. The biggest battle is just doing right all the time. That's a battle. When I go to a restaurant and they bring out a plate, the waiters say it all the time, don't touch that plate, the plate hot. And you know what I say after I touch it? It wasn't that hot. He said it's hot. I still gotta go and touch the plate anyway. It's a battle. So being okay with understanding that I'm going to lose and win in this battle, and this battle is not over until the day I'm in the ground. Because you're not going to get it right. You're not going to get it right. And there's people with this idea and this mindset and mentality, they're going to get it right and everything's going to be perfect. It's not. Don't play that perfect game, because all you will do is get let down, because perfection does not exist. I do firmly stand on that and believe that. It doesn't exist, man. You should try your hardest to get things right. In moments where you got them wrong, figure out how to never get them wrong again. That's the world of compromise. That's the world of growth. That's the world of evolvement. I mean, I got a teenage daughter. Nobody prepared me for the world of, like you talking about got to get it right. Are we talking enough? Am I loving enough? Am I present? Am I listening? Am I just delegating? Am I parenting? It's a constant battle of energy. Ultimately, just because you say you're a good dad don't make you a good dad. Just because you say you're a good boss don't make you a good boss. I can say it every day. I can think I'm doing it. But if on the opposite side, if I'm viewed differently, well, that will be because I'm doing something wrong and I'm not aware. What I now do is make sure that I'm looking at things through both lenses, not a one-sided POV. It's not just my perception of what I'm doing and how everybody else should see it. In doing that, the way that I try my best to back up the hope of me being perceived as that is by putting the true work in to be that. Making sure that I'm really engaged with the other people, making sure that there's a rapport, that there's energy. And, the wife and kids, the same thing. Making sure that there's a rapport, that there's, I'm asking the questions and I'm getting the answers, but I'm asking for things so I can get the proper feedback, so that if I do need to adjust or if I do need to fix, at least I'm aware. Operating with the assumption that you are or that you're doing, it can be a crud. It can be a bad thing if I'm operating with the assumption, because one day you'll wake up and they'll go, I never liked when, or what acted as a problem for me for all these years was when you, and then you just go, I never knew, you never said nothing. And sometimes people don't want to say anything. Sometimes people don't know how to say anything. So the world of dialogue, communication, and just openness is what I think I've gotten better at over the time. But once again, it's a constant space of improvement. You're constantly trying to improve.